Taking stories of Greek mythology and putting them to life on the big screen is no small task. Hollywood has been able to personify these ancient stories and play them out on the big screen for years. Hollywood accurately embodies the stories of these gods, goddesses, and heroes while embellishing their physicality on the big screen. Greek mythology has been referenced in movies for decades. Greek mythology movies can reveal their plot in the title of the movie in either an obvious or subtle headline, while other movie titles may be named after Greek mythology, yet have nothing to do with portraying those stories. With all the movies to choose from about Greek mythology, in today's video, we are going to talk about the top 5 Greek mythology that is worth watching. Number 1. Troy, 2004. Possibly the most told story of Greek mythology is the Trojan War. The Trojan War features heroes and foes for the Greek and Troy armies, which makes it widely known and frequently told. Heroes like Achilles, Hector, and Odysseus play key roles in this story, and they are accurately portrayed in this Hollywood depiction. Troy tells the story of the Trojan War and illustrates the final battle between Achilles and Hector. Troy is based on the epic poem The Iliad by Homer. According to the credits, Homer's estate should sue. The movie sidesteps the existence of the Greek gods, turns its heroes into action movie cliches, and demonstrates that we're getting tired of computer-generated armies. Better a couple of hundred sweaty warriors than two masses of 50,000 men marching toward one another across a sea of special effects. Number 2. Clash of the Titans, 2010. Clash of the Titans is a 2010 action fantasy film and a remake of the 1981 film of the same name produced by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, the rights to which had been acquired by Warner Bros. in 1996 through its purchase of Turner. This story is very loosely based on the Greek myth of Perseus, an Australian-American production directed by Louise Leterrier from a screenplay by Travis Beacham, Phil Hay, and Matt Manfredi, starring Sam Worthington, Gemma Arterton, Mads Mikkelsen, Alexa Davalos, Ralph Fiennes, and Liam Neeson. The film was originally set for standard release on March 2010. However, it was later announced that the film would be converted to 3D and was released in April 2010. The stories in Greek mythology include deities from a lineage of Titan gods. The movie, Clash of the Titans, focuses on Perseus, son of Zeus, who has to save the world from Hades, god of the underworld. Perseus has to defeat monsters of both the sea and the earth during his mission to save the world, and these battles are depicted throughout the movie. Number 3. Immortals, 2011. Immortals is a 2011 American fantasy action film directed by Tarsem Singh and starring Henry Cavill, Stephen Dorff, Luke Evans, John Hurt, Isabel Lucas, Kellen Lutz, Freda Pinto, Joseph Morgan, Daniel Sharman, and Mickey Rourke. The film was previously named Dawn of War and War of the Gods before being officially named Immortals. It uses motifs of the Greek myths of Theseus, the return of the Hercules, the Minotaur, and the Titanomachy, but the plot does not resemble any coherent narrative originating from Greek mythology. Immortals is without a doubt the best-looking awful movie you will ever see. Aiko Ishioka's costume designs alone deserve an Oscar nomination. They weren't at all historically accurate, grumbled a woman in the elevator after the sneak preview, as if lots of documentation exists about the wardrobes of the gods. She added, "I guess that's what we deserve for using free tickets we got at a Blackhawks game." One image after another is gobsmacking, including the early one in which a prison cell of thick granite, buried inside a mountain, holds the imprisoned Titans. We see them from above, chains standing upright, their teeth clamped onto iron rods. They'd been this way for aeons. Other images include Greek villages carved from the sides of precipitous cliffs, spectacular temples and thrones, and a startling shot of the oracles dressed in towering red costumes against a slate background. You look at these visuals and drink them in. Number 4. Hercules, 1997. This animated depiction of Hercules tells the story of the labors that Hercules had to go through to regain his godliness. With immeasurable strength, Hercules knew he was different from his peers and went on a quest to discover why. Hercules learned from Zeus that Zeus is his real father. Hercules and his trusty pal, Pegasus, visit Philoctetes to receive training to save a beautiful damsel in distress, Megara. Hercules would battle Hydra and Cyclops, two fierce monsters that Hades unleashes in an attempt to defeat Hercules. Hercules would defeat the monsters and prove to the gods that he is worthy of immortality. Development of Hercules began in 1992 following a pitch adaptation of the HERCULES mythological stories by animator Joe Hader. Meanwhile, Clements and Musker redeveloped their idea for Treasure Planet, 2002, following the critical and commercial success of Aladdin, 1992. Their project was removed from development in 1993, and Musker and Clements joined Hercules. Later that same inspired treatment by Hader, Clements and Musker studied multiple interpretations of Greek mythology before abandoning Zeus' adulterous affair with Alcmene. The project underwent multiple story treatments, and a first script draft was inspired by the screwball comedy films of the classic Hollywood era and popular culture of the 1990s. Donald Bettini, Bob Shaw, and Iron Mecchi were brought on board to revise the script. British cartoonist Gerald Scarfe was recruited as a production designer and produced over 700 visualization designs of the characters. Research trips to Greece and Turkey inspired the background designs. Animation for the film was done in California and Paris. Computer animation was used in several scenes, predominantly in the Hydra battle sequence. Hercules was released on June 13, 1997, and received mostly positive reviews from film critics, with James Woods' performance as Hades receiving particular praise, but the animation, particularly the visual style, and music received a mixed response. The film underperformed in its theatrical release, notably in comparison to previous animated Disney films, ultimately earning $252.7 million in box office revenue worldwide. Hercules was later followed by the direct-to-video prequel Hercules, Zero to Hero, 1999, which served as the pilot to Hercules, the animated series, a syndicated Disney television series focusing on Hercules during his time at the Prometheus Academy. Number 5. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Is a 2000 comedy drama film written, produced, co-edited, and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen. It stars George Clooney, John Turturro, and Tim Blake Nelson. Chris Thomas King, John Goodman, Holly Hunter, and Charles Durning have supporting roles in the cast. A movie portraying 3 escaped convicts in the 1930s who have to overcome many obstacles on their journey home may not sound like Homer's The Odyssey, but Universal Pictures successfully encapsulates this story of Odysseus. Ulysses is the Latin form of Odysseus, and he is the main character in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Just like in the Odyssey, Ulysses has to battle a Cyclops, resist sirens, and win back his wife. A modern depiction of the Odyssey, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Tells the story of Odysseus in this Great Depression setting. The film is set in 1937 rural Mississippi during the Great Depression. Its story is a modern satire loosely based on Homer's epic Greek poem The Odyssey that incorporates social features of the American South. The title of the film is a reference to the Preston Sturges' 1941 film Sullivan's Travels, in which the protagonist is a director who wants to film Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? A fictitious book about the Great Depression. Much of the music used in the film is period folk music. The movie was one of the first to extensively use digital color correction to give the film an autumnal sepia-tinted look. It was released by Buena Vista Pictures through Touchstone Pictures in North America, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain. Universal Pictures released it in other countries. The film was met with a positive critical reception, and the soundtrack won a Grammy Award for Album of the Year in 2002. The country and folk musicians who were dubbed into the film include John Hartford, Alison Krauss, Dan Tyminski, Emmylou Harris, Gillian Welch, Ralph Stanley, Chris Sharp, Patty Loveless, and others. They joined to perform the music from the film in the Down from the Mountain concert tour, which was filmed for consumer consumption via TV and DVD. While there are many other films based on Greek mythology, These are the top 5 we have found that were able to capture all the magic you would expect in ancient mythology. Some films aren't entirely centered on Greek mythology, but you will find that certain parts of it are mentioned throughout certain films. If you consider yourself a big fan of Greek mythology movies, you shouldn't hesitate to see the movies we have included in this list, as well as branch out to find others that you will love as a fan of Greek myth and legend. So let us know if you have watched these films or not. Or if you're planning to watch this movie, tell us in the comments section. Also, give a thumbs up to this video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for future updates.